I'm out here in Kauai, just enjoying a great vacation with my entire family, and we're just having a great time. So with all that said, somebody tell me something good that's happened over the course of the last week. Let's start off on a really positive note. Come on.
I got one.
Take it away.
So doing my cold calling yesterday, finally I'm back up to pace. I think in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 cold calling sessions, I have about 12 appointments set up. And haven't been doing very long sessions either, but I had a really interesting conversation yesterday. And because I take about 30 seconds to a minute before I dial anybody, and I pull them up in LinkedIn, and I pull them up on whatever the brokerage they're with. So if I'm calling KW, you can just Google KW agent lookup. And it just so happens that the gal in Chicago that Sean will be meeting with next week when you get back, sells in Chicago, but she also sells in Cabo. And I'm going to be in Cabo in a week. I tried to get her to come, but I was like, we've known each other for 6 minutes. It's a lot to ask somebody to get on a flight. I was like, I'll pay for it. But here's what's really cool. She met with an EXP person down there like a year ago. Her family has a business in Cabo as well. And she said, I really like EXP and I'd love to come over, but as far as I know, I can't get MLS access in Mexico. That was 9 or 10 months ago. And I jumped into the EXP world, got on with the Mexico expansion, or whatever they call it, the international group. There it is. And they said, yep, here's everything that you need. We've got it now. We've got full access. And so she's a rock star, been in the business like 3 years, is doing like 9-10 million in the States, and then business there too, connected with a builder there. So she'll definitely, we'll have a really high probability of getting her on, which will be very interesting because that will open up recruiting in Cabo as well, because this gal is a rock star. And so just to let everybody know, there's rock stars out there that nobody's calling, because she's like, I talked to an EXP agent 9 months ago, and she's like, you're actually the only person who's called me. And she was super excited to talk about it and super excited to meet about it. And so again, guys, we're sorting, we're not searching. The other 7 people I talked to yesterday with her, the next 7, she was my first call of the day, set an appointment. The next 7, nothing. The next 2 more appointments. So it's just a matter of talking to enough people. You are sorting, not searching. Again, the seashell analogy. Sean, I know you're in Kauai. I know you're going to go wander down a beach with a glass of wine in your hand. You're not going to be searching for seashells, but if you see one that's really cool, or if you see a starfish, you'll pick it up. And that's the analogy here, guys. So agent attraction and recruiting, I'm having a way higher appointment conversion rate right now than I did 2 months ago, by far. So guys, there's a pile of cash on the other end, and it will pay you every month for the rest of your life and your kids' lives. Don't miss it.
Fantastic, John. So a couple of things I want to underline there. The support at EXP, you guys. Now, 3 years ago, maybe it wasn't so darn good, yet I'll tell you what, they have gone through the awkward teenager phase at EXP, and they're on to explosive growth. So it's time for us to take advantage of that. No doubt about it. Somebody else, tell me something good that's happened over the course of the last week. Hey, by the way, I had a vision of doing this call on the beach and, letting you guys kind of enjoy the experience with me, yet sadly, it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. It's still dark. So it would be a little bit challenging for you to see the amazing landscape and the views. And it's just so much fun. By the way, I'm going to be presenting today at 12 o'clock. That's Hawaii time here in Kauai. So if you have a way to get to Kauai, or if you're on one of the islands, you can jump a quick flight, get over here. Seriously, it's going to be well worth your investment of time. It's just $47. All proceeds go to a local Kauai charity that's going to help younger kids that are in school, middle school, high school, to really set their career path. So very excited about doing that today. So let's kind of dive in here. And Tim, you've already started the recording. So welcome everyone to our Wednesday morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at, mastermind session. Guys, today we're going to talk through recruiting. We'll talk through retention. We'll talk about increasing the revenue or per agent production. And finally, getting your agents into reproduction. So of those four things, where are you falling down the most? Where do you need the most action right now? Because I want to talk through actionable strategies, tactics that you can implement and deploy like right now to start getting that traction in agent attraction. So let's dive in. Let's start with recruiting. And John, thanks for speaking up to talk about your cold call strategy. Now you're only calling capping agents, correct?
100%. Yep. If
Okay,
you're not
well, let's go
doing
deeper
3
into that.
million, you don't make the list.
Okay, so let's go deeper into that because it sounds a little bit, I don't know, maybe heartless, a little bit cold. You don't want to help the newer agents. It's selfish, it's self-centered. Yet let's talk about the why behind that. Let's go deeper into that because I think once you kind of analyze this, guys, then you'll recognize that John's strategy is probably the best strategy. So let's talk through that because there's so many people out there, they say it's so much easier to build it fast than it is slow. And while aspects of that statement are true, I think when you start attracting newer agents, well, that does create a bit of a challenge as it relates to retention and revenue per agent production, as well as reproduction. So John, talk to us about that. Why is it critically important to go after capping agents?
Okay, so two things. So it is way easier, guys, to go fast than slow. And my biggest problem is always finding the time to get back to what it is that I do best. And that's why I hired Shon, because I know he'll yell at me if I spend more time doing something other than dialing. But here's the deal on fast versus slow. Fast is the answer 100% of the time. But going fast with the right process is like going fast down a highway. Going fast without the right process is like going fast if you're off-roading. And so the process that I use is I only recruit capping agents. There's a couple of reasons for that. There's 90,000 other EXP agents and they can recruit the non-capping agents. For me, though, it's all about what's the best business model, and the best business model in any business is starting with a good, solid foundation.
Just shut off the camera.
And so, yeah, I only do, if you're going to make my list to call, you're going to have done between 3 and 10 or 15 million, depending on the price point of the market for the last 2 years. There's a couple of reasons for that. Reason one, if you can't do $3 million in production and you're actually trying, you will not be in business in 2024. 2023 is not going to be good to you. So I don't want to have to recruit the same person twice. These are people that I'm recruiting into my front line and other people's front lines. And so I want the front line to be piled up with people that are producing agents that get the overall, not just the financial benefit from the lower cap split, all that sort of stuff, but that view their business like a business, because those are the people that I'm going to be spending most of my time with in my levels 1 and 2 to help them build. And again, 3 million, it's not like I'm talking about, I only call large teams that are doing 40 million. The 3 million minimum ensures that I'm going to get 2,800 a year off of each one of them, or 3,200 in line 2. But more than that, it removes me having to kind of babysit and go along with new agents. There are great people out there to coach new agents. I am not one of them. I do not have that patience. And honestly, I would just be like, all right, pick up the phone, call FSBOs and expireds. That's my coaching strategy for new agents. So it's also better for EXP, frankly. I'm not saying don't take the non-capping agents if they are attracted to you and you come, but if you're going to be focused on outbound recruitment, you might as well be focused on the people that you can recruit once. They're going to stay with you a long time. They're going to understand the process, and they have the ability to lead the rest of the people in their downline, so you don't have to do it all yourself.
No doubt. And thanks to Ashley Galladay, who helps us understand the numbers of our business. Guys, if you don't understand the numbers of revenue share and agent attraction, I would encourage you to reach out to Ashley Galladay on Workplace. Seriously, Ashley Galladay, Golloday, I believe, and hit her up. She's developed a system that links right into EXP Enterprise, and she'll give you the inside of the numbers of your business. Now, understanding that we must approach revenue share building like a business, it's imperative to understand the numbers. Now, After going through this with Ashley, and she set up my entire system. By the way, tell her that I asked you to reach out to her. She'll give you some special treatment, no doubt about that. Yet, understanding the numbers, it's the capping agents within my revenue share organization that are actually attracting the most agents to align with EXP. Yet the fallacy out there is that if they're a capping agent, they're focused on personal production. They're focused on that next deal, and they don't have time for agent attraction. Yet that is a fallacy. You guys, it's the productive agents that attract the most agents to align with EXP. See, they're the 1%ers. They're the ones knocking it out of the park, and it doesn't matter what they're doing. They're going to succeed, whether it's real estate sales, building agent attraction, and revenue share. Guys, it's the go-getters that you need in your front line. There's no doubt about that. Now, it's only one relationship away from blowing everything up. You know, I've shared with many of you, I look at my RevShare organization, there's one guy who's contributed 75% of my growth. Then I look at his organization, there's one guy who's contributed to 75% of his growth. Then you look at his organization, there's one guy or one gal, right, who's contributing to 75% of his revenue share group. So guys, you're one relationship away from just blowing this thing up, no doubt about that. So now is the recruiting season. John, go ahead.
Yeah, and also on exactly what you're just saying right now, and going back to the capping agents, everybody knows the old, I don't know if it's an expression, but if you average the 5 people you spend the most time with, if you average their income, it's going to average out to your income. So if I'm looking to recruit agents and want agents to be recruited by those agents, I want them to be surrounded with agents who are producing agents that run their business like a business. So again, it just comes back to building a solid foundation. If you recruit new agents, they're going to know new agents. If you recruit experienced agents who have a track record, and again, I'm not saying they got to be doing like, $400,000 a year in GCI. I'm just saying they have to be making a living at this, because I want them to be a part of my world for the next 20 years. And I want the people that they're surrounded with to be producing agents as well. And so it's, you wouldn't go, if you lived in a city that had a $400,000 average price point, you wouldn't go farm a neighborhood that sold for $100,000. You'd be doing the same work for 25% of the income. So you want to, again, just build your foundation solid. And then once you get that done, it doesn't matter who comes into your organization. It's all beneficial. But I've seen so many people who are like, well, I had 15 FLQAs and a couple of them were newer, and then they dropped off, and now I'm down to 8. Well, now I only have 1 level open. And it's like, don't do the work twice.
No doubt about it. And Chuck Heller, thank you for posting that. You can find Ashley Galladay. Just check out the notes section or the chat section, you guys. Seriously, understanding the numbers of your business, critically important for you to build a sustainable revenue share organization. Now, what John's speaking to is it's the people that's going to make it most sustainable. Yet understanding the numbers, guys. See, when I first started building revenue share, I thought, man, I don't care if you're brand new. I don't care if you're a capping agent. I don't care if you built a team. I want you within my organization. Now, here's what I've learned over the course of the last 3 years and 5 months, you guys. After going around the block once, I've attracted over 90 agents to align with EXP to my front line. Now, again, many of them were newer agents. Now, of the 90 plus that are attracted, 47 remain. So going after capping agents, now here's the thing. If they're a capping agent, here's what they're gaining. They're gaining stock, equity, ownership. They tend to come around to revenue share development a lot faster than brand new agent who's just focused on where's my first deal coming from, right? And so they start building revenue share. That makes the retention aspect so much easier. By the way, they've already proved that they're coachable, they're trainable. So when you provide them with the right scripts, dialogues, objection handlers, impacting their mindset in a powerful way by improving their competence, guys, it leads to a higher level of confidence, and it impacts their mindset in a really powerful way. Plus, it's easier to get these folks to form habits around agent attraction. So they're coachable, they're trainable, they're hungry. And by the way, higher producing agents, here's my personal belief about higher producing agents is that they're beginning to burn out a little bit. They're looking for a different way to generate income. And this is a natural line extension where we're not asking them to do anything different than they're doing today, other than express their sincere desire to help EXP grow to other non-EXP agents. These are the type of people who have the influence that can put together an event for you, like the event I'm doing today here in Kauai, is a direct result of a capping agent who joined EXP and wants to build revenue share. So guys, it just makes everything else easier and a lot of things unnecessary when you go after capping agents. So let's talk about that front, John. Let's talk about data and where you're getting your call list, because here's the thing, if you don't know who you're going to call, you're not going to call anyone. So John, just give us the quick rundown. How are you finding the capping agents?
Yep. So there's 2 or 3 different systems out there that you can use. There's Market View Broker, which is my favorite of the systems that I've tried. It's about 180 or whatever it is a month. And Market View Broker gives you access to every agent in your MLS, and then you can do searches depending on what you're looking for. So I'm doing a search of the last 2 years of 3 to 10 million in production. And then when I download them, I have them up in my CRM Grow. When I'm calling them, I throw them up in LinkedIn real quick, because that's going to tell me how long they've been at their current brokerage, right? So that's another key indicator for somebody who's going to move. If you've been at your current brokerage since 1962, I'm just going to move on to the next guy. So I use Market View Broker. There is Broker Metrics. It's a lot more expensive. From what I can find, it's the same data. On Market View Broker, just a note, you will need broker approval, and you can only get it for the MLS that you are a part of. And so, for instance, the Bright MLS has 88,000 agents in it because it's in 7 states. So if you're part of that, you get all 88,000. But you can get the data different ways. I've talked to people that are like, I'll have a VA do it all. It's just so simple to use Market View Broker. And as far as I know, there's no minimum monthly commitment. So you could download everything you need in a month or 2 and then get rid of the program, and then you've got it all. Because it's not like FSBO's expires where you need to know the exact, you need to know the most up-to-date information. So I use Market View Broker for all that. And then I use CRM Grow as my CRM. I had some issues with the dialer with it. We got it all squared away. So yeah, I use CRM Grow for that. Sean, one other thing, I hate to jump back to it on capping agents.
John, it's Tim. If I could jump in very quickly, and this builds off what you're talking about in terms of lists. So our list vendor, the one that we've been recommending to people, they just reached out to me the other day. I told them that people are using this for recruiting. Do they have any kind of production data? They have been going through and adding production data. So I can drop a link in there. That's kind of another alternative, I guess. And they have national, state, all the way down to city level stuff. And that's on top of Market View Broker, which I know is the one that you recommend, you prefer. And then there are others out there as well. So
yeah, we'll talk about that because I'd like to find out more about that thing. The other thing I was going to say real quick about capping agents, guys, it's easier to recruit a capping agent than a non-capping agent. The model works better for people who are producing a little bit more. So it is a much easier conversion from a cold call to an appointment. If they're already doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million, the math just works out better. So, but yeah, that's how I find them, right? I use Market View Broker. Tim, I'm interested in finding more about that. I'm not married to any one system. Market View Broker does everything I need, and it is not terribly expensive.
Yeah, well, and I would say anybody who's interested, I'll drop a link into ours. Anybody who's interested should probably take a look at Market View Broker. I'm going to put a link into our vendor, and then anybody who wants to know more, just email me, tim@iconcoaching.com. And then John, they could probably email you as well, I guess, if they want more info, right?
All right, good stuff. So when you know who you're going to call, then it becomes about, well, what are you going to say? Because one thing I've learned about people, myself included, if I don't know what I'm going to say when I contact somebody, I'm probably not going to have the nerve to pick up the call or pick up the phone and make that call. So practicing the what to say, the how to say it. Certainly, you can find the script style and objection handlers in the program that we wrote called Attraction in Action. John Mendelson put together a program called Revenue Share Builders, which is phenomenal. It's all about the what to say, the how to say it. Not only does he help you identify who you're going to call, he also helps you understand what you're going to say once you call them. Now, by the way, I prefer a direct approach. I really do. See, when somebody reaches out to me and they're trying to get all, buddy, and then it's 2 weeks later, then they finally unveil their real agenda. I feel that's disingenuous, and I tend to lose a little bit of respect for people like that. So I prefer that just head-on direct approach. Are you possibly recruitable? That's what you want to know at the end of the day. Now, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. So by getting that direct approach down, and John, let's talk a little bit about what you say specifically, because quite frankly, of all the people that I coach on agent attraction, John, you've got the highest first contact to appointment set ratio of all of them. So I want you to go deep into what you say, how you say it, and let's get into an active role play right now. All right,
cool.
John, take it away. Ring. Hi, this is Shon.
Hey, Shon, John Mendelson. Well, hold on a second. Now I got to change it because I have to hang on a second. I'm going to say the Fieldis Real Estate Group, because my best friend of 30 years, Justin Fieldis, and one of my frontline people is on the call. So I'm going to use his name. So, hey, Shon, John Mendelson with the Fieldis Real Estate Group over at EXP. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks. Appreciate you asking. Hey, first off, don't kind of rack your brain or go through the mental Rolodex. You and I have not actually met. Reason for my call, though, if you have a quick moment. Actually, let me back up a step. Are you familiar with the Fieldis Real Estate Group?
I've never heard of it.
No worries at all. So we're a $40 million team, been in the business, or been with KW for, 14, 15 years, ownership in the office, profit share, the whole 9 yards. Anyways, made a huge move last year, partnered with EXP. Shon, everything has exploded. So I'm just reaching out to a few agents in the Austin market that are absolutely crushing it in spite of the insanity of the last 12 months of the market and likely where we know it's all going. And just kind of asking, have you had a chance to really sit down, look at the EXP model specifically as it pertains to your business, your current production, and where you want to see your business go? Because I got to tell you, Shon, the finances, game-changingly different.
Honestly, John, I haven't taken the time. I'm super busy.
Yeah, and no worries. I totally get it. And I'm not in the business of trying to make anybody make a decision or make a move. But what I'd like to do is I'll set up a 20-minute call with you and I'll walk you through the model, like I said, specifically as it pertains to your business. And if it's something you're interested in chatting more about, great. If not, absolutely no harm, no foul. At least you'll know what the model looks like, because I know people who have made the move.
Well, that's true. I do.
Awesome. So in your schedule, what's the least hectic day of the week that I'm going to interrupt you the least?
Probably Friday afternoons.
All right. Friday afternoons. I've got a 2:15 on Friday, or I've got a 3:45. Which of those works better for you?
Well, let's aim at 3:45.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, Shon, is I'm going to send you a calendar invite with a Zoom link in it. And we'll jump on the call. Like I said, it'll be 20 minutes or so. And I'll walk you through the process and so on and so forth. Then I just close out the call.
Okay, good job, John. Now tell me, what would you say if I said, you know what, John, I'm super busy. I don't have the time and it's not a priority.
Listen, I totally get it. Totally understand. Hey, let me just ask you one more quick question and I'll let you jump off the phone. If I can show you how to put an extra 30 to 50 grand net in your pocket in the next 12 months without changing anything that you're doing in your business, would that be worth a 20-minute phone call?
Since you put it that way, I suppose it would.
Awesome. So what's the least hectic day in your week that I'm going to interrupt you the least?
Right on. Friday afternoons. Good job, John. So just one objection handler. So practicing the what to say, when you know what to say, how to say it, then you'll have the confidence to pick up the phone and contact these people. No doubt about that. So let's go down the road. What's the next step? So you set this call Friday, 3:45. What do you do then?
So they instantaneously get a video text message from me that just says, hey, it's John Mendelson. Hey, I just wanted to put a face to the name, or I guess a face to the voice. Super excited about what we're about meeting with you. I don't remember exactly what it says, but super excited about meeting you. We're going to go over the 8 different ways in which you should be being compensated by your brokerage. And then I think I have something in there to the extent of I stole it from you. So the only thing I ask from you is whatever it takes. Time block the time, lock yourself in a basement, treat this like a $5 million listing appointment, because this could actually change your life. Super excited to see you. And then that's the end of it. Then they get an automatic reminder 24 hours in advance. It's a text reminder. It's been a text message. It's going to change this week to a text video that just says, hey, it's John. Hey, we are meeting in 24 hours. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder. Super excited to talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow. Then they're going to get a 1 hour reminder automated through CRM Grow as well that says, hey, Sean, well, it's if it's a text, it will automatically put their name in. So it'll say, hey, Sean, John Mendelson, just giving you one more quick reminder. We're meeting in 1 hour. I am so excited to talk to you. And then that's it.
Right on. Well, 20% of your energy and effort should be invested in setting the appointment. 60% of your energy and effort is making sure they show up. Okay, because having people no-show you after time blocking the time, that's challenging to say the least. Now, video text is obviously the best because you get to leverage that 55% of your ability to influence people, to persuade them to show up to the call. Then, what do you say on this first, I guess the second call, yet the first real intro into EXP? What do you do? How do you do it?
So yeah, I've got I took the slide deck that you use for your, or I don't know if you, I think you said you might be using a different one now, but the basic slide deck that you've used for your Friday call, and I've kind of cut that down. So it's going to show the 8 ways of compensation, but we're going to talk about 4 of them. We're going to talk about, the production, all that, and then we're going to end on revenue share. And then it kind of walks them through the overview of EXP. And then there's a slide in there that's linked to my brokerage comparison spreadsheet, which I'm going to show them because I have to show them 30 to 50 grand net because that's what I promised. With the brokerage comparison spreadsheet that I've built, I can show anybody 30 to 50 grand that they will make more at being at EXP. Doesn't matter who they are. I mean, I only call capping agents, so I guess maybe if you're doing like 1 deal a year, you wouldn't. But I actually could still figure out a way to do that. And then we kind of go through the process. Again, it's a slimmed down version of your Friday attraction exploratory call. And then at the end of that appointment, the goal is to set the next appointment. So there's never an appointment. An appointment's not an appointment if you can't set a next appointment. It's just a waste of time. So at the end of that, I'm going to say something to the extent of, Sean, you've given, some really great questions. What I would like to do is I'd like to set up another call so we can do a little bit of a deeper dive and I can go a little bit deeper on some of the things that you brought up here. So looking at the rest of your week, what's the least hectic day that I'm going to interrupt you the least? Then we're going to do the second appointment. That's going to be a model explained appointment. And it's going to start off by, obviously, I'm going to chat with them for a couple of seconds. And I'm going to say, hey, Sean, I have been literally so excited to show you this. When I saw this the first time, there were like 3 things popped out to me. Literally could not sleep for 2 days. Just mind racing. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I'm so curious to see if you and I work the same way. But I'll ask you after the video. So now I've made them realize that there's 2 or 3 things that are key, and they're going to pay more attention than if I just said, here's the video. And then at the end of that call, we're going to talk about the 2 or 3 things that they had. And I'm going to say, man, you and I are in the same boat on this. What I would really like to do, my business partner, Sean, and then I'm going to set up a 3-way call, right? So I've got a scripting for that. I don't have it in front of me. And I kind of do it looser when I'm doing the calls. But the goal then is to get them to a 3-way call. I would say, so my business partner, Shon Kokoszka, is absolutely the top guy in this space, knows where the real money is made and how to do it correctly. And he's been around long enough to, answer and even bring up some questions you might not have. So what I'd like to do is get the 3 of us on a call. And then I'm just going to say that I'm going to stop, and they're not going to say no because, they've been through this far of the process. And then I'm just going to be like, great, what's the least hectic time in your week that I'm going to interrupt you? At least I'm going to set up a 3-way call. If you can get them through the 3-way call, you got a 75% chance to get them on board. Undoubtedly. Now, I want you to write down 3 powerful words, everybody. That's who, not you. Who, not you. Because many of you are kind of stuck in production. You're focused on where's my next listing coming from. And you're going to invest your time in proactive lead generation for a real estate business. Keep doing that. Yet if you don't have the time for agent attraction, you've got to identify the who does. Who can do that for you? Engaging with a full-time ISA to set appointments for you is probably one of the best things that you can do.
In fact, that's what we've done here at Icon Coaching, where we'll have an ISA set the initial appointment. Now, they're not licensed with EXP. They're not a licensed agent or broker, so they can't talk about EXP, yet they can set appointments for you or somebody else to have the conversation. So the ISA contacts the individual, sets an appointment for them to investigate the EXP model. Then they'll go to Paul Hellam, who's active on the call with us today, who's also a consultant here at Icon Coaching. And by the way, you can engage in a free one-on-one coaching session with Paul. All you have to do is go to iconcoaching.com. Just click on that apply for coaching button, and you'll have a free coaching call set up with Paul. He's going to help you solve one major issue within your business. He's going to help you get that traction, and you have nothing to lose. It's free, you guys. So seriously, engage in that. Yet they're going to go to Paul, and Paul's going to walk them through the psychology of change. He's going to shift them from a positive present mindset to a negative present mindset by getting them to rate their current brokerage on a scale from 0 to 10 on 5 different points. Now, Paul is not a licensed agent. He's not with EXP or hanging a license with EXP. So again, he cannot talk about EXP. Yet he can get them to rate their current brokerage on a scale from 0 to 10 as it relates to the technology platform that their broker is providing to them that helps them generate more leads, set more appointments, have more closings, and make more money. How would you rate your current brokerage 0 to 10? Second, the education platform. Because our business grows to the extent that we personally grow, I think it's imperative to engage in training to strengthen your foundation. And with the right foundation, you can build your business as big as you want to build it. The third category is stock awards, ownership, equity in the brokerage you work so hard for, or are you being leveraged? How would you rate that 0 to 10? And the system they have in place. And generally speaking, as you will know, that is a 0. Then we talk about how they compete directly head on with Open Door, with Redfin, and the brokerage. Are they giving them the ability to go to anybody in their state, give them a cash offer within 24 hours, close in 10 business days? How would you rate your broker 0 to 10? That's always a 0. Then we talk about revenue share, creating residual passive income, or what I love to call wake up money. And can you do that at your current brokerage? 0 to 10, rate them. That's a 0. Okay, so out of a possible score of 50, you've given your brokerage a 9. If we use the academic grading system, that's an 18 on a scale from 0 to, or from on the academic grading system. It's an 18%, definitely not a passing grade. How do you feel about the number? Do you believe it's accurate? Now, do you believe in the statement that if we do what we've always done, we're going to get what we always got? So in order to get to better, we must get to different. Would you agree? So what I'd like to do now is simply set an appointment for you to meet with Shon Kokoszka on a Zoom meeting. He's going to walk you through the 8 different ways that you should be being compensated from your current broker. He's going to outline a step-by-step plan that will enable you to retire, seriously, if you choose to, in the next 3 to 5 years with a little bit of effort. So tell me, when's the best time for you to get together with Shon? Mornings or afternoons? Guys, when they go through the process, they go through the system, it's strategically designed to get them to take the steps of change. They might be completely closed to the opportunity, yet when they go through the process, psychologically, they're going to be moved to a position of change. So from positive present to negative present to negative future. Paul will also say, so describe your business, your production, 5 years down the road. If nothing in the ratings you've just given your broker changes, that's negative future. Then it's about positive future, which is meeting with Shon. Guys, I trust that you can kind of get your mind around this model, this system, in an effort to really improve your agent attraction, your production. And that's what this is all about. So let's just open it up. Q&A right now. What's on your mind? Maybe John and I didn't go deep enough on a particular topic and you have some residual questions. I want to make sure that you guys find significant clarity today. So what's on your mind? What questions do you have? Oh, by the way, let's do this, because nobody's lunging at the opportunity, which kind of shocks me. We got, 100 people on the call or so, and nobody's jumping at the opportunity questions
Hey,
yet. Go ahead, Sean.
Chris has had his hand up for a bit.
Oh, thank you. I can't see it on my phone, you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
I figured so.
Thank you for your patience, my friend. Take it away.
What's up, Sean? Hey, guys. Not even so much a question, but I wanted to put an exclamation point on something that John said earlier, because I think it's really relevant for, I'm sure a lot of the people on this call are just getting started with agent attraction, and I'm talking to agents every single day, and you see it a lot that newer agents to the business are bringing me new agents or people, oh, I met this girl at a restaurant and she was really talkative and I think she'll be a great real estate agent. And Here's the key, guys. Your experience level doesn't matter. Learn the company, pay attention on these calls. Like, John is giving gold out today, and your personal experience level doesn't mean anything. You want to, when you do this stuff right and you focus on, going after, find the biggest agent you can in your market and call them. When you know the company and you know what you're talking about, this model works better the higher of a producer you are. It makes more sense for them to join, just like these guys said. So don't feel like, well, I'm new, so I can't call somebody like that. Why would they listen to me? When you do this right, they don't even know your experience level. When you approach it with confidence and you're asking the right questions, it doesn't even come up. So focus on that, and you're focusing all of your energy on them, getting them to talk. So you're talking less, and then you're kicking it up to somebody like John or myself or Sean or plenty of the other faces I'm seeing on this call. And after the fact, they'll be like, how long have you been in the business? About 3 weeks. What I mean? At that point, it doesn't matter, because it's not about our own personal success.
Chris, you make a great point on that. And I don't mean it. I haven't sold a piece of real estate since 2019.
Right.
And I call people that are in my old market. And if they want to look me up, they're going to see zero production. But they're not going to look me up. You don't need to have built, let's say, I don't know, you don't need to have built 100 cabinets, as long as you've got the instructions and the tools to build a cabinet. If somebody who's done 100 cabinets has laid it out, here's exactly what you do. And by the way, here's a video of me doing it. You don't need to do that. You just need to follow the process. So you're exactly right, Chris.
No doubt. Thank you for saying that, Chris. Marilyn, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I love the content today, and I'm really interested in agent attraction. And my problems, what I'm having is when I call, different agents that I work with or I have a relation with, they're already in eXp Realty already, but still that gives me the practice, to keep moving. And also I do a lot of networking. I want to know, what should I do with all these networking cards that I go to, all the events that I go to? I get a lot of cards, and I want to know, is there an email that I can forward to them, or should I call them first? What you suggest I should do with all the event networking that I do?
I'll jump in on this one. First and foremost, open rates on email are 14 to 26% on the outside if you're lucky, right? So if you're going to send them an email, just recognize you're going to hit at best 1 in 4 is actually going to open it. Okay, now whether or not they read it, that's another question, right? So my personal experience has been, drop them a quick text first. Hey, it's Shon Kokoszka with eXp Realty. We met at the conference 2 weeks ago. I wondered, do you have just 5 minutes? I have a quick question for you. They might bounce back and say, can you call me tonight at 6 p.m.? Fantastic. Set an alarm on your phone, call them at exactly 6 p.m. Or they might say, yeah, call me. Or your phone might start ringing and it's their phone number on your caller ID. So drop them a text first. You have just 5 minutes. I have a quick question. Then you just leverage John Mendelson's script. Now, I made the decision, I shift eXp because the opportunity here is life-changing. Have you actually sat down, investigated the eXp model as it relates to your production, your stock portfolio, and most importantly, your ability to retire someday from this industry? Because I got to tell you, the finances, economics are life-changing. Have you actually taken the time? It's really that simple. And then there's 3 powerful words, right, gang? It's edify, edify, edify. So you don't need to know everything about electricity, how it's made, how it goes through the transformers, how it gets into your home in order to turn on a light switch. So if you're holding back saying, well, I'll wait until I understand everything there is to know about the eXp model, and then I'll start agent attraction, guys, you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat. Just pick up the phone, make the call, then edify the people in your organization, your partners above you in the organization who joined before you, and ask them, are you open-minded? Will you do a 3-way call with me? See, many of them, like me, have a scheduling link. They'll text you the scheduling link, and all you have to do is identify a time that's convenient for them and your candidate and block the time in their schedule. They'll show up and they'll knock it out of the park with you and for you, which, by the way, when you show up to these calls, let's talk about your job. If you're going to edify somebody within your organization who's joined before you, they're in your upline. The thing is, your job is very simple. You've got to edify the person that is doing the three-way call for you to your candidate. You got to build that person up. So understand their bio, understand their resume, identify some key talking points about the individual so you can make them look really good to your candidate. Then once you've done that, then you're going to edify the candidate back to the person doing the three-way call with you and for you. And you say, now I'm just going to step out of the way because I want you to hear from the best of the best of the best. And certainly I'll be here if you have any questions for me, but otherwise, take it away and let the person do their job. Don't interrupt them. Don't underline what they say. Just simply zip your lip and let them do their job. Do not speak unless asked to speak. You guys with me on this? Let them do the heavy lifting. We must subject the needs of our own ego to the needs of your revenue share development. Let them do their job. They'll help you close the deal up. They've been doing it a little bit longer than you have, and mastery tracks with time on task over time faster than anything else. Let them do their job. Yet so many times it's our ego who says, no, I can do this. I can do it all by myself. And guys, I made that mistake so many times. Just let go of the ego. Ask for help. There's nothing wrong with that because it's a mutually beneficial model. You get somebody above you in your organization, they help you attract an agent. Well, guess what? They win too. So let them do their job. Step out of the way and you'll start building revenue share a lot faster. No doubt about that. So guys, we are sadly, go ahead.
Hey, Sean, I just wanted to make one comment. I talked to Sean Murphy he's the VP of growth for EXP. He said there's about 300 people a month that join EXP without a sponsor. And I was on the phone with him because I just had somebody join. I had somebody call me that was one of those people that joined back in October, didn't name a sponsor, didn't even really know that that was important. And once she did that, you can't change it. It's very difficult to change it. And there's over 4,000 agents sponsorless in the company today. And these are producing agents. The number I heard was 434 billion in volume is being done by those 4,000 agents. So these are agents that are producing agents. And I think it's important to know the value proposition of EXP. It's also important to know your value proposition when you're talking to people. Know your upline, what that brings to your organization as well, so that you can verbalize that to people. And I want to give a quick shout out to Chuck Keller. He's one of my team leaders at KW here in Hollywood Hills. And if I use myself as an example, Chuck was one of them. He reached out to me early on. I was on Sean's, would never leave KW list. And it took me 2 years to leave. And I had multiple people I could have called. I happened to join Shon as my sponsor. Chuck's a great guy. I know he probably doesn't hold that against me. But Chuck, you got a great organization, over 1,500 people in your group, right?
Correct. Yep.
It's about how many people you talk to.
And that's a good example, because I was thinking that earlier. I should have followed up more and focused on you, but whatever reason I didn't. And then you see what happens. And of course, it's great that somebody joins, but the point there is, there's several people that I know that I could have talked to that I didn't, that did join, but I just want to say real quick that I don't know what it is that, I don't know if a lot of people in this call, because we got like 100 or so, are you thinking it doesn't work? It doesn't, doesn't pay, the money doesn't come in. And I just want to share with you that when I started with this, I just had a goal to do like enough money per month to pay my health insurance, car payment, gas, like fixed expenses. That's all that I wanted to, which, was, a few $1,000s a month. And now my rev share, without quoting the number, could own 6 properties, and it could make the mortgage on all 6 properties.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm just saying but you have to decide what it is you want, how much you want. If you just want, sponsor a few people to have some extra money, it can start that small, it really is.
Well, I know you're a great team leader, Chuck. So I know you have the ability to talk to people about the value proposition because you did it for so long at KW. But anybody can. All you have to do is come to Sean's meetings on Fridays where he presents the value proposition. That script he mentioned, the positive present, negative future. Take attraction and action. You get all of his scripts, very direct script, the one-on-one script, and he shows you how to present the value proposition in attraction and action. So you'd be crazy not to take that course or join one of our one-on-one coaching programs, because if you do that, you get to coach with somebody like me and Sean's other coaches, and we will point to you and keep you on, out of the pitfalls and on track, and you get all the scripts and stuff for free, and you get to take Attraction and Action, Accelerated Breakthrough, and all the programs for free if you're a one-on-one coaching client. So
Exactly right. And Sean Policino, you're one of our amazing coaches here at Icon Coaching. I encourage you guys to reach out, chat with Paul. No doubt about that. Now, let me ask a question. Do you think my family loves revenue share? Can you see my backdrop? Do you think they love revenue share, guys? I think every one of you deserves this, because we could stay here for the next year. We wouldn't even stress about money. And I'm so grateful for this model. And it's given us just an amazing life. Each and every one of you deserves that. And I want that for each and every one of you. You deserve it. Your family deserves it. Now get out there, make some phone calls today. Tim, Paul, if you guys want to stay on the line, Sean, you may want to as well. Oh, by the way, Chuck, I want to thank you for not following up with Sean Policino. Sean has turned into a major rock star within our revenue share organization and within Icon Coaching. So Chuck, please take that in the spirit. I mean it, just jabbing you a little bit, buddy. And I have the pleasure of coaching with Chuck Keller every single week, as well as his partner, Doug Rago. And these guys are killing it. They're on fire. And I'm so proud of what you guys are accomplishing. Way to go. Tim, Paul, Sean, if you guys want to stay on the Zoom, I do have to jump. Yet, if you have any questions about the programs, if you have questions about John Mendelson's program, John, you probably want to stick around too. John has partnered with Icon Coaching to help bring this knowledge and skills to each and every one of you. So yeah, just stick around, ask your questions. I got to jump though. Guys, let's talk again next week. And until then, just be on purpose, be productive, be powerful, get out there and crush it. Bye-bye.
see ya.
Okay.
Sean and Tim, I'll let you know that I probably have about 10 minutes or so, because I have a 20-minute agent attraction call that starts.
Yeah,
after
well,
this.
let me give people again, let me give people kind of the overview of some of the stuff that we're working on. So John, as you know, as Sean Policino knows, one of the things we are starting to refocus our organization. For everybody who's on the call here, we're starting to refocus on teams. And the reason is Sean is the best big team coach in the world, hands down, right? I mean, he could go head to head with anybody else on this. And so that is something that we definitely want to focus more on. And so we are in the process of refocusing in that and making that kind of a major part of the company. We're still supporting attraction and action, obviously. I mean, Sean is gung-ho on the EXP model. And we're still supporting the accelerated breakthrough. One of the things that we are looking at, and I could make this as a future announcement, I guess. So I've been talking with John Mendelson and I've been talking with Sean. We are looking at making RevShare builders kind of the version 2 of attraction and action. And that's something, it may take us a little bit of time to get there because we have a lot of irons in the fire right now. But John has done such a tremendous job putting together this remarkable program, right? And so one of the things that we looked at was with the traction and action, what we're finding is things are so dynamic. There's so much change in this space and things are evolving so rapidly. And it was like, how can we add to attraction and action to make it that much better? And when we really dug in and looked at it, it was like, you know what, is that the best approach? Or should we take some of the best material from attraction and action and then, basically silo that in with what John is already doing, because he has such a massive body of incredible training. So that is something that, you guys should definitely stay tuned. The RevShare builders, John, in a moment, maybe you could drop the link there as well for them. And then, the team part of things, that is something that is going to be coming more and more and more over the next, over the next few months. We're just kind of digging in there. Again, if you visit our website, iconcoaching.com, you'll see some of Sean's biggest clients there. I mean, who else has coached Mark Spain and Lance Loken, right? I mean, that's one of the things that makes Shon Kokoszka so unique, is he has worked with the people at the very tip top of the industry, so and that's one of the things that I am so proud of in terms of working with him.
I mean, Tim, you said it perfectly. So I am 100% committed. All I do is agent attraction and now coaching with Icon. So anybody that needs anything agent attraction wise, I'm here to help for sure. So I put the link to my website down in there. The website is a little bit under construction because we're eventually going to be rolling it into the Icon coaching website, but right now there's just too many irons in the fire, like Tim said. So I think up a little ways in the chat, I threw in my cell phone. I thought I did. I threw in my cell phone and my email. I will repost that in the chat right now.
Yeah, and actually, I just put in a link to our list vendor. Again, we work with, it's realestateagentlist.com. This is a vendor that I've worked with for something like 12 years. They're considered kind of the gold standard in real estate. They cost a little bit more. I can tell you guys, as someone who's bought, I'm not trying to pitch you on this, but I bought leads in real estate from all over the place. Realestateagentlist.com is a fellow named Bill Beatty who runs it. He's a data scientist. He is a computer science person. He's been in real estate for decades. So his quality is his focus, and that is what makes it better. I've gone to lots of other list vendors, and it runs hot and cold. So the thing that I mentioned about that though was, I asked him probably about a month ago about production values, and I didn't think he was able to get those. He was, and so he's basically doing what they call a database append. He's taking his current record set and adding in production values from MLSs. And so take a look at that. The reason I put that out there again is someone said Market View Broker is not available in their area. Broker metrics is the other one. Availability depends, and of course, if you're not a broker or you don't have a broker who can get that for you, there may be some limitations there too. So that's that different ways to get to the same thing.
Tim, I've got to jump off in just a short bit here. Were there any other questions for me that I can be helpful with before I do jump?
I'll throw something out real quick. John, I'm currently in your RevShare training right now, and it's been good. So I tell you, yesterday, the last 2 days, started making phone calls, made 50 phone calls the last 2 days, and booked 6 appointments out of that. Just had one of those. That went well. I just needed something to kick my butt and get me started. That was my biggest thing. I just needed something to get me started. So that's what you were really helping me out with there. I will say that 2 days ago, when I started making the phone calls, I made half of what I wanted to make because it scared the hell out of me. I don't know why. It's making that first FSBO call, right? So, but I got it done, and then the next day I made twice as many calls. So it's just a matter of just doing it, just getting in action.
And that'll always build on itself too, because you'll get more comfortable and more confident, and you get to the point where it becomes fun. All right, Tim, if nobody else has anything else for me, I appreciate you letting me stick around and answer some questions, but I have to jump off because I got to prep for.
Yeah, well, why don't we close things down in general? Why don't we close things down for today? I want to wish everybody a great week. Again, I think I mentioned this on yesterday's call. I just, and John, you don't need to stand up if you don't want. I'm going to give everybody the billing lecture, and the reason I mention this is I have been going through, on a business level and on a personal level, I've been going through bank accounts, looking at services that pile up. We're kind of at the end of the winter, right? Our weather, I'm in the Seattle area, it's hinting that it may improve. And that means that we're on the edge of spring. So before the spring sales season starts, if you haven't done it yet, this is a good time to go through your bank, your private account, your all of that stuff. Look at what's coming out that you've signed up for in the last couple of years and ask yourself, am I using this? And is it providing value, right? What I'm finding personally is you get what they call it lifestyle creep, right? Or spend creep, things like that. Odds are you've got stuff that you're paying for that you've completely forgotten about. And this is a great time to get rid of that, save some cash, as well as kind of clean the slate before we get into another sales cycle. So that's my lecture for today. Okay, well, let's close things down. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful
See everybody
day.
later.